Hi, Dr. Offit. Jake Crosby, GW School of Public Health and Health Services. I'm a grad student there, actually, studying epidemiology for an MPH. You said that Dr. Andrew Wakefield said that the MMR vaccine caused autism. He never said that, actually. He said that the safety data to back up the MMR vaccine's use was inadequate, and 7 years later, the Cochrane Review basically came to that same conclusion. What do you have to say to that?
What I would say was what I said before, which is that those 14 studies that looked very carefully at whether or not MMR vaccine was associated with autism has clearly shown that it doesn't. I think the second thing that is clear is that if you look at the cause or causes of autism, I think an enormous amount of data has come up with that. We now know that there is a genetics to autism. We also know that there can be environmental influences, but when those environmental influences occur, they have to occur in the first or second trimester. Take your pick: valproic acid, congenital rubella virus, thalidomide. So I think that
those are prenatal, but that doesn't mean that everything that could possibly cause autism has to be in the womb just because those two exposures just so happen to be prenatal.
So maybe just for those of you, because this is a good teaching point actually. So there are many things you encounter when you stand up for vaccines. Sometimes you get hate mail. Sometimes you get sued, and sometimes you have a stalker. I have mine. His name is Jake Crosby. And Jake
Excuse me, you came, I already live in the D.C. area. You came here to speak. Right. I just rode the metro. This is the first time I've seen it.
So what Jake Crosby does is he routinely writes articles on Age of Autism vilifying me. Jake doesn't like me. So, but life goes on.
Okay, why don't we move on, Dr. Brunel?
Yeah, Phil.
Yeah, Paul, there are two very, very disturbing articles that I've seen recently. One is that the people who reject vaccine are not the ignorant, poorly educated, poor people. These people may not complete their immunizations, but if you look at those who are refuseniks, they have high incomes, lots of kids, well educated. This to me is very, very discouraging. I mean, how do you convince those people? And the second thing is that the pediatricians who are recently minted are less enthusiastic about vaccines than those who've been out in practice for a while.
Yeah, I completely agree, Phil. So here's what I would say. Certainly there are studies that have been done to show that those who fear vaccines tend to be a better educated sort of parent who believes that they can go on the internet basically and learn as much about vaccines as those who are advising them about vaccines. The good news is I think that they are reassurable. When we have these sort of town meetings of parents who have made the choice to delay or separate or withhold vaccines, most parents are not professional anti-vaccine people. They are people who have smelled the smoke and want to know whether there's any fire there. They want to trust their doctor. They want to believe in their doctor. They just want the information. So I do believe you can provide information that will compel them. I think, though, you're right, though, that the problem is that young pediatricians today not only don't see these diseases now, they didn't grow up with these diseases, so they're not as powerful as an advocate as, say, an older person like you or I would be. So I think that is also a problem. But, so I think we just have to continue to fight the good fight and make sure people understand what the choice not to get a vaccine means. I think you're right.
Yeah, I just wonder what's being taught in the medical schools about immunization. I imagine they know much more about innate immunity than they do about immunization.
No, and they're